Welcome to Steve's Project Car Garage. My name is Steve, and tonight we're going to do some welding. I've done some welding in my past, nothing crazy, just a little bit of things here and there, mainly arc welding. Never had any professional training. Like I said before, my friend Chris lent me this MIG welder, and so we're going to go ahead and just try to do a couple of things with it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this old piece of sill in half here, and then I'm going to try to butt weld it together and see if it's okay, you know? May as well practice, seeing as how we had the extra metal. So stick around, be a lot of fun. So the first thing that we're going to actually do here is we're just going to cut a little slice off of this, so that way we've got, you know, a nice clean cut to start with, and then afterwards we'll just use the vise that I've got here to go ahead and hold it together, and we'll just try to do a little butt weld. We'll start with a couple of tack welds first, just to kind of get it held in place, and then we'll see if we can actually fill the seam. Alright, so as you can see here, I've gone ahead and I ground away the paint, just that way we're down to bare metal. And this is going to be, I'm try to get it as close as possible. I mean, obviously it's not going to be perfect. I kind of tweaked the metal a little bit when I was cutting it, so it's not going to be the best of alignment, but we'll do our best here and give it a shot. So let's fire this thing up and see what we can do. Alright, so first we're going to start with a couple little tack welds. Not horrible. That's a good example of what not to do. Wow, really blew through that pretty quickly. That's why we're practicing. That was a little better. Trying to go in the circular pattern here a little bit, just to kind of make a little bit of a bead, and I actually did that there, which is nice. Let's see if I can carry it up. Now, it's not that pretty, but it might work. Question is, did I get good penetration? Let's see if I can try to fix some of these big holes here. That's pretty ugly. But it's not bad. I mean, considering I've never done this before. Again, it's not horrible, but definitely not great. Yeah, it's not that great. But, I mean, it's not terrible for my first real time trying to do anything like that. Definitely gonna need more practice, though. I got, it looks like okay penetration here, right there, actually. Where you can definitely see the weld coming through. So, I mean, I think that would be a strong weld. Maybe. I don't know. But the welding that I'm going to be doing is going to be all on panels anyways, so it doesn't want to break, so that's good. Cool. All right, so now that I did a butt weld, a pretty poor job at a butt weld, but a butt weld nonetheless, I'm going to see if I can just try to lay down a bead, see if I can do anything pretty. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, you know, you don't know unless you try. Wow. That's actually not bad. All right. Well, I'll be damned. I'm actually kind of impressed with myself. So what I was doing on this is I'm kind of making, I don't know, like cursive E's. And that is actually a pretty decent bead. and I've got good penetration. That's pretty cool. All right, so I made another cut here, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to do a butt weld, but we're going to try to get it to come out as nice as these ones did. So let's fire it back up and see what we can do. Alright, so that's definitely very different when trying to do it in a gap. You can see I'm just blowing through it. I have the welder set to B, which is where it should be for this gauge of steel, which is supposed to be between 19 and 20. I'm going to turn it down to A a little bit. See if that makes a difference. I also have my wire speed at 2, which should be more than adequate for this, but let's see what A does. I doubt we're going to get good penetration though. Yeah, see, that's not working out. You can tell it's not getting good penetration because the weld's sitting kind of proud, sitting on top, and not actually getting in. I'm going to turn the wire speed up just a little bit, and I'm putting it back on B now. So that worked out a little bit better. I definitely got a nice bead going there. But towards the end I still blew out, and that might just be because it wasn't as clean here as I was hoping. So let's see what we can do to try to remedy this a little bit. So I'm able to get a little bit of a better bead there. It's not bad. And as my buddy Chris said too, you're going to do a lot of hole filling with this. That's exactly what I'm trying to practice here. Yeah, it's not my greatest work. Not by any means. I'm still really happy with this little piece down here, but this up here, that's pretty gross. I know part of it also has to do with like your position. And so maybe if I just try to get a better hold on it. If you're comfortable on it and you can get a good steady base with the tip of your gun, I think that's a lot of it. Because like up here, I was able to rest it and do pretty good. And take my time going through it. And I mean, that comes out beautifully. So I think there's a combination of things. Obviously, with this being a gap, that's going to have a big impact on it. So maybe instead of trying to fill a gap, I should really more concentrate on putting the metal closer together to begin with, getting it nice and tight, instead of trying to fill that gap. Not bad though. Alright, so we're back here under the car, and I'm just going to take a few minutes to take a look at this heel board a little bit more and try to figure out what's going on. As far as I'm concerned, there's supposed to be like a flat heel board that goes this way, and then a bracket that sticks out that holds the radius arm mount. And I think that's what I'm seeing, but it seems so buried in old metal, and I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do. So let's take a look. This is the driver's side. I think it was back in like episode 2. We went ahead and looked at the passenger side. So this is the driver's side, so it's pretty much the same situation. Let's take a look. Alright, so here it is. The lighting isn't that great under here, and I apologize. I didn't take the tire off or anything, but this is the radius arm connection. And as far as I'm concerned, this is supposed to be like the floor comes out this way, and then this is supposed to be the back of the heel board. And so the fact is that this is... I see what it is now. It all makes sense now. Okay. Follow me. Alright. So, in here we've got the other side of the radius arm mount. And what it looks like is that this is actually what sticks out on the other side. And you can see there's even a hole right here. I could almost use that hole as reference. Let's stick a screwdriver down in there. Let's see if I can find on the other side. Alright, yep, there it is. There's the tip of the screwdriver. Huh. Okay, so yeah, this heel board is completely gone. I don't know what they did. Well, no, scratch that. I know exactly what they did. Alright, so here's what the last person that worked on this did. They replaced the floor pan. When they replaced the floor pan, they did not... They cut out the floor to be able to get the radius arm mount in here. And this is just what's left of the heel board, which explains this great big chunk of steel that goes along here. So that is to take care of the blown out heel board. Ay, ay. So we have this plate of steel here, which they put in. This is the dead, blown out heel board. This should not be exposed. This should be inside the floor, and the floor pan should come up over this. And then you can see there's more dead heel board here. Now thankfully, it looks as though the cross member here, up here, sorry, is in decent shape, which is good. But this whole heel board section and the back of the floor is completely shot. So when I do the floors, which, by the way, this is the underside of the floors. When I do the floors, I'm going to have to cut that metal out that used to be the heel board and their patch I'm going to have to put a patch in the floor here to cover this up, put in a new section of heel board, which is where these bolts here will go through and mate to the other side of the radius arm bracket here. So floor, heel board, bracket. Because really this should be all that you see of the radius arm mount. You shouldn't see any of this. And that's what's going on. Well, albeit, I'm kind of glad that we're able to solve that bit of mystery. While I'm here, I decided, let's peer up in the, making the camera all weird, into the wheel well. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a nice hole here. And it looks like, I mean, the wheel well itself isn't that bad, but oh, it's going to be more than I'm going to have to replace. And I may as well just take these quarter panels off. And the quarter panels are in good shape. And again, I'm sorry about the lighting, I'm just being a little bit lazy. The quarter panels are in good shape all around, which is nice, but I'm going to have to get in here to be able to put the new strengthener in, for one. And now I'm going to have to get in here and fix this hole in this wheel well. I don't know what they did. Looks like they did an interesting job of cutting away at the wheel well. You can kind of see it here. Let me see if I get this to focus better. There we go. So you can see here that this is the original wheel well, but in here they got like another piece of metal. And I don't know if they put an entire wheel well in on top of it. That wouldn't surprise me, because that's kind of par for the course with what they did on this restoration originally a few years ago. I guess there's going to be more investigating to go. I'm going to take a look and see if I can get a light set up, and we can take a look at the other side. So trying to get the light in here is a little bit difficult, but I mean, as you can see, this is the other side of the wheel well, and it's perfectly fine over here, which is great. And if you kind of get in here, see if I can do this without dropping my phone in. That's the other part of the wheel well. And again, it appears to be in pretty decent shape. And so here is the other side. This is in the cabin area now, and of course you guys, if you've been following along, you're familiar with the rust that was covered up with the aluminum tape down here. So that's not a surprise. What we can't see though is going to be inside of the wheel well here behind the B-post. So yeah, I guess I'm going to end up having to take these quarter panels off. I was really kind of hoping that I might not have to, but it's kind of starting to look that way. That's going to wrap it up for the night. It's getting on towards 11 o'clock. Got a little bit of a late start, but I'm pretty happy. Went ahead and did some welding, which was kind of cool. Learned that I could actually lay a bead of weld. I'm kind of surprised. But that's just the easy stuff. It's not merging two pieces of metal together, so I know there's a lot more work that I need to do. Went ahead and figured out what's finally going on with the heel board, and well, that's going to be a lot of work. But again, that's really kind of what prompted this entire project, was to get that whole section fixed. Because the whole deal with the radius arm just kind of being out and exposed like that, I knew something wasn't right. And now I finally know what they did, and it makes sense. Well, the repair doesn't make sense, but what they did kind of makes sense as to what it looks like now. You know what I mean. So, really, the next thing I've got to do is I got to bite the bullet and I got to order some parts. I need to order the sill strengthener. I need to order lower A-posts. That's stuff that I need to get started working on. I think the next thing that I may end up starting to do, though, is taking the quarter panels off. Again, I wasn't planning on doing that, but I think to be able to do this repair correctly, I really need to do that. So probably pull the quarter panels off, and honestly, looking at it, I don't even think that they really spot welded them on there. I think that they're held on with a couple of welds along the ridges and a lot of seam filler. So, I don't know. I'm looking at it now and I'm really kind of scratching my head, a little bit baffled. So anyways, if this is the kind of content that you like, please definitely, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the notifications. I'm trying to get back on that bandwagon and getting videos out every week. I had that little bit of a dry spell there a couple of weeks ago. Just had a lot of things going on with the baby and just the family, and time wasn't available. So definitely plan on getting these videos out to you a lot more frequently. Outside of that, I really appreciate you guys tuning in again. This is a fun project. I'm taking my time with it, so don't expect this to be done in just a couple of weekends. This is going to be a long haul. So again, thank you very much. I hope you all have a great night. Cheers.